my slide share.
Sir, can you see the share option?
No, yeah, I can see.
Okay. Hero, can you switch on the video?
My video is not coming. I am able to see both my videos.
Yes, sir. We are able to see your both your video. No. Harshamitra. Yeah, both the videos I can see.
Yeah, now I am trying to share my screen.
Okay. அங்க ஒருத்தர் கோஆர்டினேட் லைட் ஆஃப் லைட் இல்ல ஃபேன் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு ஏசி போடணும் ஏசி லைட் ஆஃப் பண்ணலாம்
My screen is shared.
Yes, sir. It is shared, sir.
Okay. Okay. Madam, I can hear the echo. Is it because of two devices on my side or?
Yes, sir. One device you have to mute it, sir.
Okay. Now, what about now?
We are not getting any echo, sir.
Yeah, you are not getting any echo.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. And my screen is also visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yeah, just check if my slides are moving.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. It's perfect.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. I am ready from my side. You can tell me when to start.
I will check from my side also. Hira, Kaushik. Switch off fans and put AC. Light back la mattum eritom. இந்த front light எரிஞ்சா கூட ஓகே. இங்கல எதுவும் ஃபேன் வேணாம். Just give me 2 minutes, sir.
No problem.
Exactly 2 minutes.
Yeah.
recording start பண்ணு. So can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
We can start over it, sir. A very good morning to one and all present here for the webinar for Cancer Hospital Design and New Era. I welcome Dr.G.Govindaraj from Harshamitra Hospital, Trichy, for accepting the invitation and presenting the webinar for us. Now I hand over to Hira, student coordinator, for welcoming the speech.
Good morning all, am I audible? So, good morning all, welcoming everyone for this webinar. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to today's wonderful webinar. Name of this webinar is The New Era of Oncology Hospitals. So, this is presented by Dr. Govindaraj sir. So, this webinar aims to offer in-depth understanding about the latest advancement and challenges in the fields of oncology. And as we all know, cancer continues to be one of the most critical health issues of our time, and innovations in oncology hospitals are playing a vital role over now. So, Sir has achieved gold medal. He's a gold medalist and university first rank holder in surgical oncology, and he's a winner of Sundaram Award. And there are lots of achievements that Sir has achieved. So, continuing with Kaushik.
Okay, so good morning one and all. As we all know, a man driven by goals is way different from someone driven by spirit. And Sir is the second type of what I said. So a man being driven by spirit, in his own words, it goes like, the pain I have should no one have. A tragical incident which we all are sorry for, Sir, is the passing of your dad, which is the spirit that has driven you to the limits you are today. The limits you are, it is serving people. It's not just service you do. It is way more than that. Words can't describe what you're doing. So, apart from all these things, what Sir has given us as a society, I'm gonna list out some, and which goes like the charitable trust which he has found, nicknamed as Rose Garden, but its name is Dhanabhagyam Kanasegan Pon Memorial Trust, and it is where he spends his leisure time spending awareness to the public, which is critically mandatory for today's society. And this is not just it, because through his trust, free treatment for cancer patients is being provided every single month all around the year. And during COVID, where the world was in a critical condition, Sir has provided free oxygen supply wards for poor people again. And apart from these, he has got a student youth community called Pink Cross Society. And if this doesn't fascinate us, the awards he's got in his lifetime must deserve a huge amount of applause, because certificate of appreciation by then Tamil Nadu Health Minister in 2011. Samutwa Mahamani was an award by World Peace Society in 2004, and Sir's wife as well, Asia Pacific Excellence Award at Indo-Nepal Conference on Integration and Economic Development in 2014, Vishwa Jyoti Award awarded by the National Integrity Cultural Academy in 2014, and the list goes on so and so.
So without any further ado, let's hand over the stage to Dr. Govindaraj sir. So please continue, sir.
Can you or no?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, it's clear, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the nice introduction, but that was too much of introduction about me. I would like to know about the audience. Just 2 or 3 minutes, can somebody brief me about who you are, what is your uh, course, and what exactly you expect from me today? Any one of you? Ma'am, am I audible? Yeah, okay. See, I just want to know because I cannot see your entire screen. I want to know how many of you are there?
We are around 23 students. 23 to
23 students. And what is your course? BR student?
Yeah, we are BArch students, fourth year and third years and fourth years are present here.
Okay, okay. And what exactly you expect from me today?
Actually, we are fourth years. We are currently designing oncology hospital with care unit. So we just want to know what are the functions that we have to design. So what are the criteria that we have to design. So that we just thought of discussing with you. So thank you for your time providing us to discuss with you. So that it will really enrich our knowledge to enhance our design. So that if you have
Okay,
ideas and preferences, please share with us.
okay, okay. You're Kaushik, no?
No, I'm Alex.
Alex, okay, perfect, Alex. I got the information. Okay, we'll start straight away. Okay, so good morning to everyone. And I bring warm greetings from Harshamitra Oncology Private Limited, which is a cancer hospital in Trichy, on the Trichy Madurai highways. So my presentation is going to be like this. I'll give you a small introduction. Interrupt me if my audio or video anything is not visible for you or audible for you. Otherwise, I'll keep going. Okay, I'll presume that you all are listening. Is that okay? I just need one person to communicate with me because otherwise it'll be very difficult for me to. Yeah, just one of you can sit near the mic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay. So this is my overview of the presentation. A brief introduction about the hospital, and then I'll be telling you about the legal perspectives as far as the cancer hospital is concerned, and from the director's perspective, what the promoter or the employer or the person who's building the hospital, what he expects in the hospital from his point of view, and then from an employee's perspective and from the patient's perspective and the bystander or family member's perspective, the bystander who comes along with the patient. And can I have your thing muted?
I'm not muted, sir. Can I have little introduction about the disease of cancer, the causes of cancer, and then we can start the overview.
Yeah, sure, sure. Ma'am. In the introduction, I'll cover that also. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And then I'm going to talk about the three aspects of oncology. That is the preventive, curative, and palliative oncology. Okay. So first, I'll introduce about our hospital, and before that, as Madam asked, let me introduce about the cancer disease as such. Cancer is the incidence of cancer is increasing, so the number of hospitals are also increasing. That is why the need for hospitals and the doctors are also increasing. From our side, we are trying to increase the number of the facilities, the doctors, and the staff. And from your side, probably the number of hospitals which are fully equipped to cater to our needs should be increased. So this is a demand which is there in the society. So it's quite right that there is an interaction between the architecture students and on the other hand, the actual users, the doctors. This link is very, very important for taking this up further. So I really appreciate you all for showing interest in bringing a clinician into your classroom. So thanks for the opportunity. Cancer is a disease which is an abnormal proliferation of cells. See, being an architect, you will know your building stands on basic units like bricks or stones. Similarly, our body stands on basic units called cells. And these cells, they continuously grow, they multiply, and then they'll die at a point of time. That's called cell death. So this is a cycle. A cell being born, growing, multiplication, and then it dies. This cell cycle continues throughout our life. But this cell cycle is being controlled by the gene. Each cell has a gene. And this gene will actually control when the cell to start growing, when it has to multiply, and when it has to die. So this is all fixed and it is written in the gene. Based on this genetic information, the cell performs its cell cycle. And as long as this goes on, we live happily. But unfortunately, what happens is this cell cycle loses its control sometimes. Why it loses its control? Because the gene which controls loses its ability to control that. Why? Because it undergoes mutations, what we call as mutation. The gene will get damaged. Why it should get damaged? Because there are multiple factors, like some physical factors like sunlight or radiation, some chemical factors like the food that we eat, the fertilizer, the coloring agents, the preservatives, the insecticides, the pollution, the tobacco, alcohol, all these things will go and affect our genes. And then certain biological factors also like viruses, bacteria, they also can infect the cell and damage its gene. And sometimes, very rarely, we inherit the mutated gene from our parents also. That's called congenital. So hereditary cancers. And sometimes, without any cause, without nobody knowing, it automatically gets mutated. But what is the result? Because of this mutation, the cell loses its control. It proliferates abnormally. And when it proliferates abnormally, it doesn't do its function also. And when it starts growing, it needs more food. So it starts eating up away the normal adjacent cells also. And when that also gets exhausted, this tries to go to the other places of the body through the bloodstream. That's what we call metastasis. So it goes and settles in other parts of the body, destroy those parts also, and ultimately the human being dies. So this is how cancer affects. So like if you want to build a building, you have a plan. So you have, according to that plan, you build. So similarly, our cells, they have a plan. According to that plan, they should work. Suppose this plan gets altered, your building gets altered. So similarly, when the gene gets altered, the cell gets altered. So that's how we get it. So when it goes uncontrolled, suppose your employees, they go uncontrolled and they build according to their own, then you will not get the desired building. Similarly, the cell starts functioning on its own without the command of the normal genes. So the body goes berserk and the organism does not do its function. The organs don't function, the organism dies. Okay, that's all about the cancer. So I don't want to go too much into details. Maybe I can take it up in the questions. I'll now move on to your area of interest, the hospital as such. As somebody introduced me, I started this hospital because my father died of cancer when I was doing MBBS. So seeing his pain, I decided to take up oncology. So I took up oncology and I specialized in surgical oncology. I'm a cancer surgeon. And I made my wife also specialize in oncology. She's a radiation oncologist. Together we have started this hospital. Main motto was like I experienced a pain. I should see to that the other people in the society should not experience the same pain that I had experienced. So in whatever way I can help, I'm trying to help the society. So that's the main purpose for me to build this hospital. This is my dad who died of throat cancer. It was a miserable death he had, and I was with him throughout his disease period. That is when I met cancer directly, and I know the pain of cancer. And as a doctor, now I'm able to sense the pain of the patients also because I have myself sensed the pain. So it is easier for me to approach the patients with compassion. That's one thing which gives me more job satisfaction and ultimately the success in my career also. We got a gold medal, both me and my wife, probably because of the interest and the passion that we had in the field. And then we started working in multiple government hospitals. And later on, after about 10 years of experience with different government setup, then we started our own hospital in Trichy. To start with, we just had 3 beds, a small clinic. For 2 years, we ran like that. And then after that, we started another hospital with 15 to 20 beds. That was in another part of Trichy. And now we have moved to a larger sector. Since 21 till current date, we are in a larger hospital. Right now, our bed strength is 50, but it has got a potential for 100. So this is our hospital. I'll just show you a small overview. There's a drone image. That's our logo. So that's a hospital. It's got three floors, one basement, ground, and first floor, and then it's an open terrace. We have kept for further expansion.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry for interrupting.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to let you know that can you just hide that a small tab that is popping out in the bottom?
So I will just hide. Okay. It's gone now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. I think I have to replay that video. Okay, that's our hospital. That logo stands for bud, a small bud to give hope. And the rays also give hope. That's how we designed it. Why 3 leaves? Because 3 fields of oncology, surgical, radiation, and medical. So that's our hospital with 3 floors, basement, ground, and first floor. And the open terrace is for scope for development. Actually, it has been structured for 6 floors. The basement is like that. This is on the Trichy Madurai national highways. Easily approachable. We have got a good parking space in front. And we have got a side road also. Okay, the vision and mission. Mainly, I want to give treatment at affordable price to my patients in this part of the city. But at the same time, international standard cancer treatment. That's why we keep equipping ourselves with the latest advancements as far as the new treatments are concerned, and as well as the new equipments are concerned. Our core values are honesty, compassion, discipline, knowledge, and cleanliness. This we ensure. Okay. So, and the unique feature of our hospital was generally we have one patient, one doctor. That's how it goes. A patient goes to a doctor, gets consulted. But we have introduced a new concept where a patient comes and consults 3 doctors. So 3 of us sit together because in cancer care, it is not just surgery alone. There are 2 other important modalities. One with medicines called as medical oncology and with radiotherapy called as radiation oncology. So the surgical, medical, and the radiation, all 3 specialists will sit together and will consult each patient. This is called as a tumor board or multidisciplinary team approach. This is what's being practiced internationally. We were the first to introduce this in Trichy, and that is one of our success. And see, in that team, as you can see, it is not only the doctors, we also include the patient. And not only the patient, we also include the patient's bystander, the family members, because when it comes to cancer, it is not just between the patient and the doctor. There are so many other factors involved: the moral support, the social support, the financial support, and it's a long duration of treatment. The patients have to come for months together. Every month they'll have to come for cycles. And by the time they finish their treatment, it maybe will take 1 year, 1 year. And even after that, they have to come for regular checkup. So they need this entire social support and the financial support. So we keep the family also along with the patient when we take the treatment decision. Once the family is quite clear about the treatment process, then the compliance becomes easier. They come and meet us regularly, and the complete treatment gets over. That's why we include them also. And apart from that, it is our paramedical team and the allied specialties which we require time and now. Like, for example, if we need a radiologist, we'll call the radiologist also during our tumor board discussions. That's how it goes. And we provide comprehensive cancer care. It's just not cancer. If you think, it is not just treating the cancer patients. It is beyond that. We have to prevent cancer in the society. We have to treat the cancer patients. And we also have to provide supportive care for those who are beyond cure, the palliative, the end stage. All these 3 we have catered: prevention, cure, and also palliation. So that's how we have designed our hospital. And it will be important for you because I'll be touching why this is important from an architectural point of view also. And it is not just, even if it is a cancer hospital, we cannot be focusing only on cancer because our cancer patients will need other allied specialties also. Like sometimes we may have to call in a cardiologist. So we need a cardiology facility. Sometimes our patients will require dialysis. So we need that facility also because we cannot make them run around for each facility to some other center. So we have to provide all in a single place. Even though it is a cancer hospital, we need the allied specialties also included to provide a comprehensive cancer care. And apart from that, we also take part in academics and research activities. This is also important. Why? Because cancer is rapidly evolving field. Newer treatment modalities are coming, and how they are coming, it is because of the research. And how they can do research, they need data, the real-time clinical experience. So that what we can only provide. So we have a data, we organize the data in our electronic medical record system, EMR. And then through that data, we provide information for the research team. And also we conduct researches on our own. We provide the drugs to our patients. So this activity will go on. And we have our own students and we have visiting students coming from various different fields. We get engineering students, we get admin category, the HR students, we get paramedical students. They all come here for training. So we cater to them also. So this hospital has to cater to the teaching needs also. And apart from all this, just like any other corporate, we have our own CSR activity. So it's a social service activity also. We have a trust called Rose Garden that goes and does cancer awareness programs, cancer screening programs, and we also provide free treatment for the poor cancer patients. So all these are put together. That is our hospital. So in this overview, I've given you the introduction, and throughout I'll be talking to you about the plus and minus also. So throughout my experience, I finished my MBBS in 1994. So that means 30 plus years of experience. And after establishing this cancer hospital, that was in 2010. So I've got more than 15 years of experience. So throughout this experience, I've come across a lot of problems. So I'll be touching on the plus and minus as well from the architectural point of view, so that it will give you some idea. Okay, so from the legal, now we'll move on to the legal perspective. See, when we established a cancer hospital, this is what I did, because that's why I told you my introduction. See, I started with a small clinic. It was a rented building. Then I moved on to another building which was already built. So that was a commercial building, so I just moved in. Then I built my own hospital. So I have that experience right from this first brick to this hospital. So I've gone through the entire process. So with that, I can throw you some light and where I went wrong, where I got the advantages, what I expect from the architect, and what I did not like from my architect. So all that I'll be telling you. So from the legal perspective, first thing that we wanted was plan approval. So we need a plan. The architect gave us a plan. Then we sat together, me and my wife. We discussed with the architect. We made certain changes according to our needs. Then we got the plan approved. And our place is Panjayat. So the Panjayat approval and the local planning authority. So town planning authority, we got that approval. Once that approval was done, then this being a cancer hospital, we had to establish a radiation machine. So that's what makes a cancer hospital different from other hospitals. Because we have a radiation machine that has very high radiation. So it's a bunker which has to prevent the radiation from escaping. So that is a unique building structure. For that, we need a special approval from AERB, that is Atomic Energy Regulatory Board in Mumbai. So they have certain guidelines, specifications. They give us, we have to upload the diagram in their website. And once going through, they have a team. Only after they give the approval, we have to start building. So these two approvals are very mandatory before we start the construction. Then once the construction is over, there are other legal things like Clinical Establishment Act. We have to get ourselves registered with the government to run a clinical establishment. So that has certain guidelines like steps, and then where the lift should be, what are the fire safety measures, what is the size of the lift, what should be the size of the scan room. So those are the guidelines that also are required for you. And then the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board license we have to obtain. This particularly looks at the biomedical waste disposal because we deal with toxic materials. So that disposal and the drainage, how it is being treated. So we have our own sewage treatment plant, STP, and then only the water, the effluent can go out into the mainstream. So that part, the waste disposal also separate medical license we have to get. And then of course, fire license, just like any other commercial building, a lift license and stability certificate. I think all that will be common for any commercial establishment. Then there's something called NABH, National Accreditation Board for Hospitals, NABH. This has been recently introduced, and we have to get ourselves certified by this NABH also for us to get ourselves empaneled in many of the insurance schemes and to provide services for certain corporates. They expect our hospital standards to be according to the NABH standards. So, and the NABH again has certain standards and guidelines which we have to follow. And they'll be having certain architectural aspect also into it, like what will be the width of your steps and the lift, what is the fire provision that we have provided. All that they'll take into account, and then they'll give us grading, and according to that, they'll certify us into entry level or fully accredited hospital. And accordingly, we get our scoring. And based on that, we get empaneled into certain corporates and insurance companies. So that's very important for the hospital. So these are the statutory requirements, and we have to comply with all this before we start the hospital. Okay, I'll take you through the plan approval. This may not be clearly visible, but I'll share this PPT with your faculty. And if you are interested, you can go through that. You can get the actual images and zoom it and see. But this is the overall view, and I'll move the cursor. So this is the basement floor. So basement, we have to access through the side door. I hope you remember, we have a side road. This is the part that is facing the national highway. So this is how my hospital is situated. And there'll be a side road. Through the side road, we can access the basement. And apart from that, we can access from our main entrance also. So we have two entrances. And through the side road, we have steps that takes them down. And along with that, we have a ramp-like structure also here. So for the patients who cannot walk. And once you go down, in the basement, we have another lower level, the -2. Why this -2 is there? Why? Because this is where we have kept the bunker. The bunker is marked here in that red color. That is a huge concrete structure which goes a little below the ground level. The -1, this is -2. So that's why we have kept another ramp. So through that ramp, we have to go slightly more down and then enter this bunker. See, actually, we can place this bunker on the same level, but the problem is the bunker's roof. This is a bunker. It is typically like a bunker of the Hitler Nazi bunkers you have heard about. No, radiation cannot enter. So why? Because our radiation should not exit. So that's why we built a bunker like this. That means all the walls are concrete and very huge walls, including the roof. So the roof itself is around 2 meters thick. So when it is 2 meters thick, so it will be thicker than the normal roof. So what you can imagine, being architect students, you can imagine if I place the bunker at the same level of the other -1, then what happens? This particular roof will be at a different level than the roof of the other floor. That way, then in the ground floor, what I'll experience is the floor will be slightly elevated, which corresponds to the roof of the bunker. So to avoid that, what we did was we went slightly down so that the ground floor level is made uniform. So I hope you can get that. Otherwise, I can take it up in the question section. So this is what I wanted to tell you. So in the -2, when you go down, we have our bunker. So there are two bunkers here. One is a larger bunker, which takes the linear accelerator machine. That is a higher radiation equipment. And we have a smaller bunker here. Here I showed this. And that is the brachytherapy machine. Brachytherapy, that's also a radiation machine, but it is at a lower radiation. So the specification, the guidelines are little more flexible here. We need not go for 2-meter thick concrete. There's a different guideline here. So once you see this picture, I think the markings are there. You can zoom it and see the finer details. I'm not going to the finer details for time, as well as I'm not so equipped with that all that engineering stuff. This is the ground floor. Ground floor, we have a entrance. This is, as I told you, this is the main road, highways. So we have faced the main entrance facing the highways, and we have got a huge parking space here. So the once you enter, we have a double ceiling portico, whatever you call, courtyard, whatever. Okay, that's a huge double ceiling. This actually, I feel this has an advantage. So actually, my wife also said, why waste this space? Because unnecessarily you're putting dead space. Instead, you can put 1 or 2 rooms on the first floor. But I insisted on this high ceiling. But it really helps. Once you enter, it gives a good picture of the hospital. And the patients also, their mindset, they feel that they've entered into a large sector. Somehow, I think there is a psychological impact. And I feel this high ceiling really helps me in giving a good atmosphere in the entrance as they enter the hospital. So once they enter, we have steps here and the lift here. And then there are consultation rooms and some ICU and emergencies. And there's some admin staff sit here. So this is how we have placed. There's a reception. And then along with the reception, there will be other admin category which are related to the patients, like insurance, the patient support medical officer. So then the floor manager who explains about the billing system and all. So all these people, we keep them here. The CM insurance office, that will be here. And patients will be waiting. We have our consultation suites here. The emergency, they'll come directly here. And they also have a back entrance. So sometimes when the patients with very acute emergencies, they can come via the side entrance, come to the back side and then enter. So we have a entrance there also for the emergency. This is how the ground floor is designed. And the first floor. First floor, you can access by the steps and the lift. And this is that area with that high ceiling area. So that is a dead space which we cannot use. And then we have our general wards and rooms here, nursing stations. That's how the first floor is. And okay, this is the electrical panel. What is unique to us as far as the electricity is concerned, because we consume a lot of electricity, so we had to have our own transformer, and it is a high voltage. We are, it is not the domestic one. We have to take the commercial high voltage and HT line. And in the electrical planning, we have to plan separately for the linear accelerator machine. That has to, that consumes a lot of energy. That's one. And second, there has to be a 24 hours AC running in that machine. Otherwise, the machine will get repaired. It will go fault. So there are 2 AC machines we have kept, and we have got a timer. So one machine will work for 12 hours and the other machine will automatically work for another 12 hours. So like that, we maintain the temperature. There will be a temperature monitoring system. So that facility has to be there. And second, there is a chiller outside. This chiller is directly connected to the machine. So apart from that room temperature, the machine itself has to maintain a temperature. For that, they have a chiller. So this chiller also consumes energy, and it has got a separate ducting system that gets connected directly to the machine, and the machine's temperature is maintained with the help of the chiller. So this is what something which was unique from other hospitals which I came across. So that's why I wanted to touch a little bit about the electrical line. And again, you can go through the details with the PowerPoint that I shared with your madam. Okay, this is coming to that bunker. See the bunker, see how this is designed. All these walls are very thick, more than a meter, full of concrete, including the roof. And the surrounding that, because we have kept it in the basement, this is the natural earth. So earth itself acts as an insulator for the radiation. But our guideline says that whether earth is there or not, we have to give that concrete. And there's one more thing that is required. Here, the machine will be placed here. Can you see my cursor? So the machine will be placed here. And there'll be a head. I'll show you the machine. And there'll be a head here. This head will rotate in this direction. So it will face this side sometimes and it will face this side sometimes. Maybe in this, the north and the south, like this it will face. So when it faces that side, more radiation will go. So that's why we have kept this wall thicker. Again, when it comes this side, more radiation. That's why this wall is thicker than the other walls. And why we have kept this wall to be thicker than this? That's because we are planning for another bunker here. So that's why we kept this wall thicker. So later on, what we have to do is we have to put another bunker. So actually, this thickness is enough for the wall that is facing the radiation directly. So we have replicated this, and we have given an extra on that side because there is one more bunker being planned. It's not there now, but in future we are planning. That time I didn't want to excavate again and do it, so I have done that now itself. Next time when I build another bunker, I need not put this concrete. I just use this wall and I'll build the other walls. So that thing which I did in the initial. Then the other thing that I wanted you to see is, see, this is how we enter into the radiotherapy room. This is the entrance. Once you enter, we have the console. The console is where my technicians will work with the system, and all this will be connected to the machine. So they'll operate remotely. And then the patient will be pushed through this door. And this door has got an interlocking system where if the machine is on, this door will not open. That's how it's designed. So there'll be a light. Only when the green light turns on, the door itself will open. Otherwise, it will not open because the danger of radiation. So once the machine is off, there will not be any radiation. So the patient can walk here and they have to come like this. They have to come like this. And then they have to enter into the machine room. Why this maze-like thing? Why? Because again, it is a radiation preventive measure only. Radiation, because my radiation machine is here, it will give radiation all around. So all around I have kept the wall, but through the entrance, the radiation will come. But this radiation, as you all know, radiation cannot travel in a zigzag. It has to travel in a straight line. So that is why we have kept like this. So if at all the radiation comes, it will travel in a straight line. So it will hit this concrete wall, lose its energy. If it comes through the door, it will come and hit this concrete wall, which is thicker, as you see, thicker than the other wall. So it will hit this wall and it will lose its energy. It cannot travel like this. So if I make the patient walk like this, then the radiation exposure will be high. So we have kept a maze like this. This is the guideline. So the patient has to walk like this, walk like this. So there will not be any radiation exposure at all. Then they'll come here. They'll come to the radiation room. So this, I hope you can appreciate. Yeah, this picture is showing where the machine is placed. So this is where my machine is. And this is the gantry, what we call as gantry. Gantry is going to rotate. So this is actually the machine head. And this is where the patient will be lying. The patient will be lying like this. And then the machine will radiate and it will rotate so that it gives radiation in all the 365 degrees. I'll show you the machine, the real-time machine, in my subsequent slides. So that picture is for that. Then again, all these calculations in mm will be there. You can see in my picture when I give you. Okay, this is about a pit. So at the time of construction, there are some pits, see, which is in the dark color. This pit is going to take all the wires and all. So they're all laid through this trench. So at the time of construction itself, they do this trench. And this pit, again, the machine, all the wires and all related to the machine will be coming into the pit. And in this pit only the machine will be fixed. So this pit has to be constructed according to the specification. Again, the AERB gives us certain guidelines, the length, breadth and all regarding this pit. So the pit and trench are very important because radiation cannot escape. No? So we have to build this and conceal it. So then after that, nothing can pass through. No wire. We cannot pull any wire through these walls. All are concrete walls. We cannot drill them. Nothing can go. So all the wiring has to go underneath, under the ground. And then over that, the concrete will be built and it will be concealed, closed. So this has to be taken into account at the time of the planning itself. Okay. And this is a section. This is a section. So now you can appreciate the thickness of the roof. 2 meters. And it will be thicker at the where the head stands, because the maximum radiation will come here. This much of concrete is on my roof. And because I didn't want this to project only, I went at a -2 lower level. Now I think you can appreciate that. Okay. So this is the console, the maze area where we walked through like this. So that is that wall. And this is the console area where my people will be sitting. So you remember. So here I've given 2 conduits. Can you appreciate my arrows showing one conduit? Conduit is a small pipe placed in the concrete wall. Why? Because at the time of quality checking, while checking the machine, we need to put a wire and connect that to the computer here. So that will be done regularly every week. So for that wire to pass through, we have kept this conduit. This conduit, why? Because, and you see the conduit. Conduit is a pipe which is placed in the concrete, but we have placed it in an oblique way. Again, the radiation should not pass through. If we had kept it straight, through that hole itself, radiation can come. To avoid that, we have kept it like this. So if the radiation hits, even if it enters the pipe, then again, because it can run in straight line, it will go to the concrete only. It cannot bend. You know? So similarly, we have kept 2 conduits here. So through this, from the machine, we can get any pipe or wire through like this. And in the maze, it will come. And again, through the other wall, it will come and it will come to my computer. So this conduit, this is something unique. I think as an architect student, you may be interested. Okay. Yeah. The other one is the AC ducting system. Because all these are concrete walls. So initially itself, the planning of the AC ducting was very challenging. Because everywhere it is concrete. So if it is normal wall, you can just make a drill and bring the conduit out, duct out. But so at the time of building itself, the AC ducting system has to be perfectly planned. So I had a real challenge in getting all these team members together, make them understand, and then coordinate together. So that's really challenging. And there are certain mistakes also we made from the architect side, from my engineer side, for which we are facing the problems even now. I'll tell you it slowly. So this AC system, ducting system is very important. So the electrical person, the AC, and then we need a CCTV camera also. There'll be a huge camera here because once the radiation is on, nobody can go inside. So my people have to communicate with the patient through this camera and the audio system only, mix system. So for that also, the wiring also all have to be done. And of course, the fire prevention measures, all these things, the amenities, they have to be planned very meticulously in the bunker, not like any other part of the building. Because any other part of the building, you can alter at any time. Here, it will be very difficult to alter because the concrete is so thick, and we are not allowed to make any alteration also as per the AERB guidelines. So once done, it's done. So this is very important. If you make a mistake, we will suffer. And if I suffer, my patients will suffer. Okay. And this is again showing the section of the pit. So I hope you remember I mentioned something about the pit where we put the machine, and that pit has to go a little down. And here, what I want to mention is the basement. That thing has to be the what do you call that base concrete, matte concrete. That has to be very, very meticulously planned because we are putting it in the basement, and the basement has the possibility for water seepage. And there's so much of trenching and the spit, all that work is there. Here, if the construction engineer or the architect does a mistake, we suffer a lot because water seeps in during rainy seasons. Many of my colleagues, the cancer hospitals, are facing this problem. Even in Chennai, a big hospital, recent rains, it got flooded, and the entire machine got flooded and machine went waste. And we had one similar episode where the water came inside during one of the rainy seasons, and I suffered a loss of 75 lakhs. Imagine one night of rain, there was a seepage because of the construction defect or the rainwater, whatever. But the suffering was mine. It was 75 lakhs. I had it insured, but the insurance company denied my claim. Then I went for approval, appeal, and I won in the case. The case is still under, they're yet to implement it. I won 1 crore, 75 lakhs for the actual damage and 25 crores for the other loss that we suffered during that period. That's I wanted to emphasize this on the architecture students. Your role is very, very important because see, if a hospital suffers 75 lakhs loss suddenly, then how we can get that 75 lakhs? We can only get through the patients. That means the cost will increase. If we are catering to poor patients, and how they will pay. So it is all interlinked. Not only that, it's not just medical services doing service. You all who are involved in helping us, it is also service. If you do your job meticulously, it translates into better care for the cancer patients. You're not just helping the doctor, you're actually helping the patients. Not the client, through the client, the patients also. Okay. Okay, there's one more thing called the last man out switch. This I want to tell you. This may be interesting. There is a design here by the electrical person as well as the radiation team and the construction team. They have a remote sensing system through lasers and the cameras. If there is any person moving around other than the patient, the door will not lock. The light will not turn on. So only when the last man is out, then only you can lock the door and on the machine. All these are interlinked. So suppose by mistake, if one of my sisters or staff members is standing there, what if the technician thinks that nobody is there and ons the machine? Then there is a chance of radiation exposure to that particular individual. To prevent this, according to the guidelines, we have to have a last man out switch. So only when the last man comes out, the switch will be on, and then only we can switch on the machine. So we have a safety measure like that. Okay, and yeah, this section will tell you why I placed my bunkers a little lower than the basement level. So this is the basement floor. This roof is thicker than the regular roofs. So if this roof had to be thicker, then it would have jutted out like this. If it had bulged like this, then this floor will not be smooth. So I'll have to face that difficulty. So this difficulty is being placed in certain hospital. One of my friends' hospital, they had us. They did not plan like this. So their projection was coming like this. So in that floor, suddenly there was a platform like elevation. So that platform they could not use for anything. Because again, correspondingly, they had to raise the roof of the other floor also. So that damage continues. Like in a shirt, if you put the first button wrong, all the other buttons go wrong. No? Similarly, this damage continued to all the floors. But then ultimately what they used was that particular place was being used as a storeroom or some admin, something like that. So to avoid that, we went a little down. So once you go down here, all my floors are uniform. So this is something which I wanted to tell you. And these are the diagrams. I don't know, I have nothing to say with that. And okay, yeah. These are the storage requirements inside the bunker. See, I showed you, the bunker. So in the bunker, we need some storage because we need to store the molds. Mold means it's a plastic material that we use for each patient. That is, we take that mold on the first day of the radiation. Radiation is usually given over a period of 30 to 45 days. So every day they have to come and they have to take the radiation dose, and again they'll come on the next day. Suppose the patient lies down in one particular position and tomorrow he slightly shifts his position. What will happen? The tumor will shift. So if my radiation goes and falls on the wrong place, the tumor will not be killed. At the same time, normal tissue will get affected. To avoid this, what we do is we have a plastic mold. So this will be prefixed. So on the first day, we'll make a mold and we'll keep it separately. We'll store it separately. We'll name the patient, we will name it accordingly, and we'll keep it. So next day when the patient comes, we'll take that particular mold and put it on the patient in the same location. So now what happens, the patient cannot move around, and based on the mold, the machine also will understand where the tumor is. So exact place the radiation will fall on each day. So this is a mold. Why I'm saying this? I'm treating 50 patients per day. So that means 50 molds will be there. And these molds have to be stored in the room only, because if I keep it somewhere else, then again they'll be running around and all that time. So we need storage here. So that storage, for that we need so many shelves and cupboards. And where to keep them in the bunker? So this is how they're kept. See, you get some space because where the head is there is a projection. So that projection can be used to conceal this storage space. So ultimately, my bunker looks plain instead of anything projecting. So that's one way the architect helped me. Okay, so that is about the legal perspective. I hope I gave a good picture about the approvals and the constructions, and then Atomic Energy Regulatory Boards, Clinical Establishment Act, Pollution Control Board, and all. They're all more of medical related. So not much of architecture, but where the architecture comes there, I will tell you in due course. Stability certificate. We need to get a stability certificate every, I think, 2 or 3 years. I forgot about the interval, and it will be valid for 2 to 3 years. And then we have to provide the stability certificate to get our Clinical Establishment Act and the NABH and all renewed. So it's all interconnected. We cannot escape. So that is why the building stability has to be good. Otherwise, we cannot run. And the lift has to function. The fire, every year we have to get the fire license renewed. It's very difficult to run a hospital, getting all these licenses. And if the construction part is good, or we get mental peace, and if we are happy, we can provide more time towards patient care. Otherwise, I have to spend more time in administration, less time in patient care. It becomes compromised. Okay, then, so I've touched you on 2 things, introduction and the legal perspective. Now I'll be going into the director's perspective. Say, as a director, what I expected, what I did not get, all this I wanted to say. See, these are the things any director will expect when he builds a hospital. There should be good space around the hospital. This is one of the areas that we missed. Because initially, when we constructed, the guidelines were different. Now the guidelines have changed. They're supposed, for a hospital approval, there's supposed to be 6 meters of empty space all around, so that a fire engine comes and goes all around. Without that, they won't give permission beyond the first floor. But when we constructed, this guideline was not so stringent, and the guidelines were different. My architect, they have given only 6 feet gap all around. I have 3 sides. I have more than 6 meters, but towards one side I have only 6 feet. So that has become a limiting factor for me now. So this guideline, suppose my architect was smart enough to know this guideline change, because that was the time when the transition was going on. There were guidelines, but they were not being very, people were not aware. It was not stringently implemented. Now everything has become online. So initially, when we constructed in my days, we used to think, okay, they're all only paper rules we can violate. The engineers, the architects, they come in, no problem, sir, we can do that. We can get approved, don't worry. Like that they'd say. But now, nothing like that. Everything has become online. No bribe or no, nothing can change all this. Because I have my friends, some of them have built hospitals and they are not able to get the completion certificate. Because of that, they are not able to get the electricity connection. Because of that, they are not able to get the other licenses, and they are unable to run the hospital itself. So these guidelines have to be very, very strictly followed. We cannot think it is India, you can escape with bribing. Things have changed now. And then it should have good waterproofing. As I told you, we faced some problems with waterproofing, and then again we had to rework. And during the reworking, it is a cost. And apart from that cost, I have to stop my treatment for some time. During that time, my patients will suffer, and the entire atmosphere. Because of if some construction work is going on, some modification work is going on while we are running the hospital, it becomes very difficult. It affects all the other departments also. So it should be well planned. And we just blindly trust the architects. And should have good parking space. Nowadays, the guidelines have changed. I think according to square feet that is being built, they have to provide parking space also. But when we started, we didn't have that. But we have got adequate parking space. And this is something which I wanted, the collection tank in the basement. So I was repeatedly telling my architect to keep a collection tank. Like if at all there is a seepage or if there is a sudden rain flood, when the water comes in, we must have a collecting system in the basement. So from that, I can easily pump it out. But somehow, even despite my insistence, the architect missed that. That part was not there. That is why when we had the flood, the water flooded everywhere. Otherwise, it would have gone into that pit, and from that pit, we could have easily pumped it out. And this is one of the contentions from the insurance company. They said you did not have a pit, so you got flooded. That is why I'm not giving. So that was, but our argument won, and the court, the judge favored us. But anyhow, that thing should be there. Now we have gone and dug it again, and then again the waterproofing, everything becomes very difficult. The first time getting it waterproofing is easy. While modifying, again when you put the concrete, definitely, invariably, there will be some gaps between the old concrete and the new concrete. Water seeps in. Water seepage is a huge problem, particularly in cancer hospitals where we go in for large bunkers in basements. Then ramp is something which is mandatory for a hospital, but the limitation there is where there's so much of space lost in the ramp. If it is designed properly, then probably we can use that space also. There's some area for research also for you. Any hospital has to have a ramp, but ramp consumes so much of space, so much of dead space. I don't know how to use it. So probably you can do some research on that, how we can give a ramp at the same time optimize the utility of the space. And one more thing, area of research is that bunker space. Bunker, the concrete was so big, no? It will be good if you get some material that is radiation proof. At the same time, it is occupying less space, less cost effective, something like that. Those are the areas of research. Because right now we rely on concrete or lead. And lead sheets are very costly. So lead sheets we are using only in the doors. We cannot use it for the entire wall. If we use it for the entire wall, if you put lead instead of concrete, it's good. A little bit of concrete and we can overlay it with lead. But that will turn out to be very, very costly. So to avoid that, we are giving a larger concrete. When it goes for larger concrete, the construction time increases, the space increases. And I don't know about, because having 2 meters of concrete on the roof gives us some fear also. Safety. So it's my appeal. Try to do some research to get some construction material that is radiation proof. It will be really useful for the cancer hospitals. An optimal space usage and maintenance cost in the construction, you do some plannings. It really helps us in maintenance cost. And every time if they use a lift, suppose you give some facilities where the departments can easily access each other. Majority of the lift usage is by the staff, because they move from one department to another department, they use a lift. That leads to a lot of electricity, and we cannot ban our staff from using it. Some hospitals have put this lift is only for patient use, but we cannot stop. When you do the planning, you can plan it in such a way that the departments communicate in the same floor, so there's not much of moving around. Then electricity optimal utilization. This is what we expect. So it is up to you from architectural point of view how you can help us. I need my electricity to be optimally utilized, less power. Water usage should be less. Drainage should be good. The network connectivity in a hospital should be good. Particularly in that concrete basement and all, network connectivity becomes very difficult. So you'll have to design so that the connectivity, because nowadays everything is internet based, all are online softwares. So we manage with them. And it should have adequate CCTV coverage, because recently I had a incident where one of my students, she suddenly fainted and died in the hospital. So none of us knew what happened. Two of her friends were there, young girl. She just fainted and collapsed and died. And they brought her to the ICU. We tried all the recovery methods, so it couldn't recover. But then the parents came and made a big galata. Oh, my girl came healthily in the morning, and now you're giving only the dead body. What happened? You have done something. It became a police case. A huge dharna. The entire village came inside the hospital. And what saved me was the CCTVs. We had the CCTV covered all around the hospital. So we could see the girl right from the morning till evening, where all she moved about. So there's nothing suspicious. And then the spot where she fainted, and then how she was recovered, retrieved, and then what all things happened. Everything was transparent. Everything was there in the CCTV recording. The police came, they saw, then they convinced the parents, and we got away from it. But what was the history behind it was, she was a heart patient. She had undergone cardiac surgery in a young age. Then later on, their parents did not take her for further treatment. She did not disclose to us also at the time of joining the course. So we were also not aware. It was a heart problem. Suddenly the heart stopped. So that was cardiac arrest. So this is the importance of having a CCTV coverage without any blind spots. And the hospital should have scope for expansion. It should have good greeneries and noise, because we are in the highways. So noise proof should be there. And noise not only from outside, from within also. Many of the times I hear a lot of noise from my admin staff as well as the patients. If it is noise proof, so you'll have to segregate it in such a way. Adequate lighting, ventilation, of course, anybody. And staff comfort, because otherwise my staff run away. Staff attrition also reflects on how we give them the infrastructure. The patient satisfaction should be good, and the optimal utility of space. The construction cost should be less. The maintenance cost should be less. There should be fire precautions, emergency exits. The approach should be good, and the elevation should be nice. So these are the expectations from a builder. From not going into too much of details in this. I hope you can. And from the employee's perspective, I'll just run through because I'm running out of time. Should have a good approach. Ventilation, lighting, private space, working atmosphere, dining facility, restrooms, creche, for their children, because many of our employees in hospital sectors are women. So, and naturally, in our society, taking care of children falls on the women. And but of course, they have to work also. So we provide the creche here. So that should be good. And then what the employees expect, they need good interdepartmental communication. See, or suppose a lab is in one floor and the other department is another floor. They have to move around a lot to go and get the samples. So effectively manage these interdepartmental. So when you are building a hospital, you must understand the departments and how frequently they communicate with each other. Where will be the moving around, the majority of the moving around. All that has to be taken into consideration before giving the plan itself. Then, of course, the safety, employees need their safety, good network for both official use and for their own personal use. Whenever they get time, they have to see the social medias. And then intercom, and then noise control, of course. And from the patient perspective, what they expect is fall prevention is very important, because this is something that is being insisted by many of our guidelines. The hospital should have 0 falls, because patients are unhealthy, so they have a potential to fall. Wherever possible, wherever there is a possibility of fall, we have to take all the precautionary measures to prevent a fall, be it steps or restrooms or getting out of the beds, everywhere. So accordingly, the steps are also designed. They should be broader and not very high. There's a optimal height for the steps. And some people, they expect Indian toilets. From our side, I've been, because we had all our toilets as Western toilets only. Some of our patients have started asking for Indian toilets. And bystander family members. Family members are also very important. There are certain areas that they find it difficult. One is they need prayer rooms, breastfeeding rooms. And then the room should be spacious, good signages for directing them towards the departments, ventilation, lighting, all that. Then a canteen facility. And sometimes what happens is when the patient is in the ICU, generally hospitals do not give a room to the attenders, the bystanders. They have to vacate the room. Patient will be in the ICU because there will be shortage of rooms. So these waiting attenders, any of the big hospitals also I've seen, they are very pathetically sitting in front of the ICU on the floor or some chairs or standing. So we must design a good waiting facility where the patient is in the ICU, near the ICU area, easily accessible to the ICU. If they are called, they should come. Otherwise, there's no point in giving them waiting hall in the open terrace and ICUs in the ground floor. And when you call the attender, they'll not be there. By the time they come, the nurse will go inside. They'll see another patient. The particular drug will not be given to the patient. Then later on, the nurse will come and blame, you were not here when I called you. So these are the practical difficulties we are facing. So the waiting area for the ICU should be near the ICU, and it should have adequate facilities for the family members. And one more thing is segregation, patient segregation. This is very important because cancer hospital, many of my cancer patients will be having certain deformities. They'll have cancers in the face. They'll have tube in their nose. Sometimes limb would have been amputated. So suddenly, frightening look. For the bystander, the family member who's bringing a new cancer patient, if he sees such patients, they get frightened. So there should be segregation where the different routes should be there for the new patient to enter, for the old patients to go and get treated, for the regular patients to come directly to the radiotherapy. Such facilities should be also kept in mind. I'll show you some pictures, then you'll understand why. Okay. Now the next thing is the 3 aspects in oncology: preventive, curative, and palliative. What is each and how it is related to architecture? I'll just quickly run through. Preventive oncology. Preventive oncology is prevention of cancer. So I'm not aiming at a cancer patient. I'm aiming at a normal public where they have to come to our hospital, get themselves tested whether they have cancer or not, just like a master health checkup. So we have certain tests like that, colposcopy, pap smear. Then there are cancer vaccines that we give. And we have, for breast, we have ultrasound thermogram, mammogram. Thermogram is something which is unique in our hospital. We established this in the entire state for the first time in Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. We had this thermogram, which detects breast cancer very early. So this is all in the preventive oncology, a CT scan, and dental room for oral cancer screening, and then tobacco cessation clinics. So why I'm saying this is a hospital, but it is not the person who's coming inside is not the patient. So generally we expect patients in a hospital, but here in preventive oncology, we are expecting normal people. So they don't want a hospital atmosphere. So this preventive oncology wing should be like a non-hospital setup, but at the same time, it should have all the facilities for hosting my hospital equipments. So that is something which is challenging. So it's more like an office, a cafe, like that it should be. But at the same time, it should have all the medical equipments. For the patient, for the person who enters, it should be very peaceful. They should not get frightened that they are entering into hospital. The moment they enter, they get frightened. They get frightened to get tested. That is why in India, we are not getting many people voluntarily coming forward to test themselves early for cancer. In cancer, it is very, very important. You have to get tested. Once we increase the normal testing, then we can detect early. When we detect early only, we can cure cancer. Without early detection, I cannot give cure. So this is very important. And here that's why we designed in our hospital, we designed just like a hotel, that preventive wing will be completely decorated with flowers and all. And it will be only women, because women are the most hesitant to come forward for tests, particularly breast and cervical cancers. So we have designed a women's screening wing. It will be manned only by women and for women exclusively. So we have got a separate segment for women. So this also you can keep in mind. So suppose for these preventive oncology wing, it should have separate for women, because women generally they don't get they don't come forward to get mixed with the general crowd to get their breast or cervix tested. This we opened in 2014. That was the first time in Trichy, a wing exclusively for women, run by women. And of course, we have master health checkup also related to oncology. So these are the areas where you should not frighten the people entering into the hospital. Excuse me. Okay, next comes the curative oncology. Curative, we have surgery, then radiation oncology, which I was talking to you about. This is my radiation oncology department wing. So that is a ramp that takes me to the -2 we were discussing now. And this is that machine, that linear accelerator, for which we had to do so much of homework. So this is that machine. This costs around 10 crores. It is the latest machine. And this rotates itself. So this is the head. From this head only radiation comes. So when this rotates, the radiation will go that side or this side. So these are the two walls that I have to have more concrete. And again, it can rotate up also. So that's why the roof part corresponding to this head had a little more projection. And of course, bottom will be earth. So it is not much. And we also had another machine called brachytherapy. So that's my brachytherapy machine. First time in Trichy, we opened that. And we have medical oncology, patient segregation. Why? Because see, such a ghastly appearance. No? This patient had a cheek cancer because of pan parag chewing. Young patient, 38 years old. And when he came to me, he had infection, maggots, worms in the ulcer. So just imagine, foul smell, how the other patients would sit. So for such patients, we need a separate setup itself. In oncology, you have to remember this. And then later on, we did surgery. And so now he is good. So this is after 5 years. He's still doing good. I did surgery for him in 2000. I think he came to me in 2012. Now 13 years. This is good. So we can cure cancer. But during that treatment, see, if a new patient comes and sees this patient, they'll get frightened. They'll run away. Similarly, we had a lot of other patients. This is my another patient. After surgery is good. But till that time, they have to come to the hospital along with other patients. They also should not feel bad. See, if they come to the general crowd and if somebody gets frightened and moves away from him, it is an insult to the patient also. So from both the patient's perspective and the other patient's perspective, we have to take care of this. Okay. Yeah, this is one patient. See, after the surgeries, plastic surgeries and all, their appearance is like this, with the tube in the nose, they'll come like this. And the third part is the palliative and rehabilitative oncology. This is again a separate system where it'll be terminally ill patients or certain patients who come for regular checkups, physiotherapy. Sometimes the hair loss will be there, so we provide wigs also. That's a separate department. Again, these are catering to the patients, but with the different ideas in mind. So accordingly, the mood also should change the environment. And we have other specialties. We started COVID ward in 2019 when the COVID came, 2020. And at that time, using our radiotherapy machine, we introduced a very new treatment. First time in India, a phase 2 trial, where we gave radiotherapy to the COVID patients. That is internationally approved, and we published this in the international paper, and it was world appreciated. And we published in the international journal also. That was the first time in world. We also introduced a mobile machine with radiotherapy. We got that approved. So all these are research areas. And these are inpatient rooms, ICU, pharmacy. There's a canteen. And there's a room for prayer, classrooms, staff creche. Totally, we have got 21,000 square feet area, built up area. Area per bed is 150. 40 beds are now operational. This is our organogram. I'm skipping that. Overall manpower, we have around 150 people working with me. We do a lot of surgeries. The outpatients number are increasing. So, see, per year, we treat more than 10,000 patients. And in the wards, we treat around 3,000 patients per year. So every month, around 30 surgeries are performed. And we don't have clinical infections. Okay. Yeah, this is a patient fall. So this is one of the parameters that we, the hospital is judged by the accreditation boards. Fall should be 0. It is your area where you have to design the hospital in such a way that patients are not falling. Okay. So I'll just close because we also conduct a lot of classes. So the hospital should have classroom facilities with all that so digital screen and all. We conduct continuing nursing education, continuing medical education. We conduct conferences. So the hospital should have a good conference hall. And we have research and we have our own social service activities where our people go to the field. This is Rockfort. All of you will be knowing Trichy Malakotai. We used to light it. Our hospital used to light it in pink color throughout the month of October because to create awareness on breast cancer, Pink October. These are all our social service activities. One such, with this I'll close. I don't know, it's too late for you and for me also I have to go to the OP. And this is something which we have launched for the college students exclusively, Pink Cross Society. Just like Red Cross, Blue Cross, this is a Pink Cross Society. It is an innovative idea by our hospital, Harshamitra. We have enrolled many college students. Many of the colleges in and around Trichy are having this Pink Cross Society. The youth of the college can join as volunteers, and you will be given a membership card, and you will get information from us regarding cancer. You can visit our center, and if you want to do any projects related to cancer, we'll be assisting you. We'll be providing you data free. And if you want to conduct any cancer awareness or cancer screening, cancer checkup camps in your villages or nearby centers, being a Pink Cross Society member, we'll give you the privilege and we'll send our team there. And whenever there is a cancer-related awareness event or something, we'll send you an invitation. If possible, you can join hands with us and conduct these programs. So this is one such Pink Cross Society in a nearby college. So these are my Pink Cross Society volunteers who take part in the anti-tobacco rallies. We have got transport facilities. We have got 4 vehicles. We have a free medicine counter also. This is something unique in our hospital. We have a counter where we'll keep medicines and anybody can take those medicines freely. So we have got a doctor nearby. So they'll have to come and show the prescription, not only our hospital prescription, anywhere. If they show and if that particular drug is available in my counter, they'll be given free. This drugs we are collecting through pharmacy representatives and then doctors, philanthropists, donors, and many of my patients, when they get discharged, and if they're happy, if they want to give something to the hospital, I just tell them, you buy some medicines and keep it in the free medicine counter so that it will help any other poor patients. That's how the chain continues. And we have a support system. My rich patients will support my poor patients. There's one time, what happened? One of my patients was so happy with our treatment of the nurses. So they went to the nurses and told them, we want to provide lunch for everybody. My nurse said that our hospital policy is against taking any personal things. So instead you give drug for that particular patient. So they showed one patient, that particular patient is a very poor patient. You buy some medicine. So that rich patient, for 11,000 rupees, they bought some medicines and gave to that poor patient. I'm happy my staff are also trained like that with compassion. So this is my driving principle: love, compassion, wisdom, discipline, and honesty. That is how we are functioning. We have a small Buddha Vihar also in our hospital. You might have noticed. So this is my team. With that, I can close. If there are any questions, I can take for another 10 minutes, if time permits for you and the faculty.
Guys, it's your time. Please send us in the chat box to the group so that she can ask. Can you just ask the total cost of the hospital, entire hospital? How much is the area and how much is the cost? And put them in a full screen.
What is this, ma'am? I don't get you.
Mom, can you send this one? Guys, rest all of you, please, whatever the questions, you just chat box, you can just enter in our classroom. Sir, so very wonderful presentation. I think you're a 99% architect also. You understand the designs and parameters. The way you explain the air conditioning and electrical supply and the radiology and the thing is that certain terms might be differ because we study in standard something like in the radiation room, you call it as like, bunker bed kind of a thing. That you can explain it. That is a medical term of bunker bed.
Ma'am, we also call it as bunker only. That's how the guideline says. Because of it is a radiation proof room. I don't know, from your architectural term, you have anything else? I don't know. I'm aware of only that term.
Okay. We will give you suggestions definitely, sir, for the materials and the cheapest materials and which can work against the radioactive resistance and everything.
Yes.
The first question, you have a question or no? Tell me. No? Please.
First of all, I really thank you for your presentation, sir. That was really so really thank you for all your presentation, that insights that you have shared to us. I just
No, your voice is breaking. I'm unable to hear. Madam, can I close my screen? Madam.
அவர் இருக்காரா? பின் பண்ணுங்க, அவரை பின் பண்ணிட்டு பண்ணுங்க. இதுல கேட்கலாம்.
கேமரா ஆஃப் பண்ணிருக்கு.
அவரை கால் பண்ணுறேன். Sir, am I audible? Yeah. இந்த சேர்ல உட்காந்துட்டு அதான் வீடியோ கேட்கலாம்.
சார், என்னோட கொஸ்டின் என்னன்னா சார், இப்போ கேன்சர் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் இருக்குது இல்லைங்களா? இப்போ திடீர்னு ஒரு பேஷண்ட் வந்து கேன்சர் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் பக்கத்தில் ஏதோ எமர்ஜென்சி சுச்சுவேஷன் வராங்க, இல்லை ஏதோ ஒரு ட்ராமா கேஸ் வருது. ஸோ அதை நீங்கள் எப்படி அட்டென்ட் பண்ணுவீங்க? அது என்னோட கொஸ்டினாக இருக்கு. அவங்க எங்கே போவாங்க, எங்கே அப்ரோச் பண்ணுவாங்க?
If the same problem you face initially. Madam, எனக்கு ஒரு
எக்கோ வருதா சார்?
Okay, I am audible. Okay.
No, it is audible, sir.
Okay. எங்களுக்கும் இப்போ highways, national highways காமிச்சேன். அதனால initially we started as a single cancer specialty hospital only. பட் இந்த சினாரியோ வந்தது, எனக்கு ட்ராமா கேசஸ், ஆக்சிடென்ட் கேசஸ் எல்லாம் வந்துட்டாங்க. அப்புறம் லோக்கல்ல வந்து நாங்க இருக்கிறது கொஞ்சம் பெரிஃபெரியில வந்து ஆரம்பிச்சோம். ஏன்னா பீயிங் ரேடியேஷன், ஐ டென்ட் வாண்ட் டு ஐ டென்ட் கெட் அடிக்வேட் ஸ்பேஸ் இன் தி சிட்டி. அதனால வெளியில வந்து கொஞ்சம் லார்ஜர் ஏரியா வந்ததுனால லார்ஜர் ஃபார் மை பங்கர் அண்ட் ஆல் அது ஈஸியா இருக்கும். இங்க வந்தோம். இங்க வந்தா என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, இங்க சரௌண்டிங்ல ஹாஸ்பிட்டல், ஸோ அதுதான் இந்த எக்ஸாக்ட் சினாரியோ எங்களுக்கு வந்து எஃபெக்ட்ஸ் ஆச்சு. That's why we converted into a multi-speciality. Rather than a single specialty, we also converted into multi-specialty. இப்போ வந்து we are addressing all the patients. ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் கேன்சர் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல இந்த மாதிரி ஃபெசிலிட்டிக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னா, they must have எமர்ஜென்சி ஃபெசிலிட்டி. ஒரு ER ரூமோ ஒரு ட்ரையேஜ் ஃபெசிலிட்டி, அதாவது பேஷண்ட்டை வந்து ட்ரையேஜ் பண்ணிட்டு யாரெல்லாம் இமீடியட் அட்டென்ஷன், கொஞ்சம் லேட்டர், அந்த மாதிரி ட்ரையேஜ் பண்ற ஃபெசிலிட்டியும், அதுக்கப்புறம் அங்க இருந்து ரெஃபரல் ஃபெசிலிட்டி மாச்சும் மினிமம் இருக்கணும். இஃப் தே ஆர் நாட் ஏபிள் டு ட்ரீட் இட் எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ்லி, தே ஷுட் கம்பல்சரிலி ஹேவ் an ER எமர்ஜென்சி ரூம். ஏன்னா we cannot refuse treatment. ஒரு ப்ளீடிங்கோ வர பேஷண்ட்டுக்கு ஒண்ணுமே செய்யாம இது நாங்க கேன்சர் மட்டும் தான் பார்ப்போம், நீங்க வேற எங்கன்னா போங்கன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. we have to receive them, make all the first aid and then refer.
ஓகே சார். சார், இப்போ உங்களுடைய மற்ற ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்லேருந்து இல்லாமல் உங்களுடைய அந்த ஓபிடி டைமிங் வந்து மற்ற ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு மாதிரி சேமாக இருக்குமா, இல்லை டிஃபராக இருக்குமா? அது எப்படி சார்?
ஓகே, இதுல வந்து எங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஃபிளெக்சிபிலிட்டி இருக்கு. ஏன்னா எலக்டிவ் கேசஸ், எனக்கிட்ட வர கேசஸ் எல்லாமே வெரி ஃபியூ ஆன்கலாஜிக்கல் எமர்ஜென்சி. ஸோ கேன்சர் ரிலேட்டட் எமர்ஜென்சி கொஞ்சம் இருக்கும், ப்ளீடிங், இல்லைன்னா சடனா பிரீதிங் டிஃபிகல்டி, தேர் எமர்ஜென்சி. ஸோ வி ஹேவ் ரவுண்ட் த கிளாக் டாக்டர். பட் ஒரு ப்ரொஃபஷனல் கன்சல்டண்டா எனக்கு ஒரு சர்ஜிக்கல் ஆன்காலஜிஸ்ட்னா ஐ கேன் பிளான் மை சர்ஜரி டைமிங் அண்ட் மை ஓபி டைமிங். ஜென்ரலா இப்போ நாங்க வந்து பீயிங் அ சர்ஜன், ஸோ நான் என்ன பண்ணணும்னா, நான் என்னோட சர்ஜரியும் மேனேஜ் பண்ணணும், then my OPM manage பண்ணணும். So preferably what we do is, நாங்க early morning surgery வச்சுக்குவோம், like 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock surgery முடிஞ்சிட்டு 10ல இருந்து OP ரெகுலரா உட்காந்துட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நடுவுல ரவுண்ட்ஸ் போயிட்டு திருப்பி அகைன் ஈவினிங்லும் ஒரு OP இருக்கும்.
ஓகே சார் இப்போ மார்ச்சரி எங்க சார் இருக்கும்? ஸோ மார்ச்சரி ஏரியா உங்க பிளான்ல எங்க இருக்குன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. ஸோ அதை எப்படி?
Private hospitals usually we don't have mortuary. அப்போ ஒரு டெத் வந்துருச்சுன்னா நாங்க வந்து certify பண்ணி we will hand over to the patient's relatives if it is a normal medical related death. Suppose it is a suspicious or medical legal death, what we'll do is we'll have to certify and then refer to the nearby government hospital. So government hospital mortuary தான் வச்சுக்குவாங்க. There are some private storage facilities. அது என்ன இப்போ ஒரு சில பேஷண்ட்ஸ் வந்து இப்போ கவர்மெண்ட் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் போக வேணாம்னு நினைச்சாங்கன்னா பிரைவேட் கோல்டு ஸ்டோரேஜ்ல வச்சுட்டு தென் they will take. But if it is medical legal, we have to go to the government hospital.
சார் அதுக்கப்புறம் இப்போ ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல வந்து இத்தனை பங்கர் இருந்தே ஆகணும் அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது நீங்க ஃபீல் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது கன்ஸ்ட்ரைன்ஸ் இருக்கா?
ஓகே, ரிகார்டிங் தி பங்கர்ஸ் வந்து இன்வேரியபிளி ஒரு ரெண்டாவது பங்கர் தேவைப்பட்டுடுது ஒரு கேன்சர் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல இப்போ வரைக்கும். தட் வாட் வி ஹவ் சீன். அதனால தான் நாங்க வந்து அந்த செகண்ட் பங்கருக்கு நாங்க ஒரு ப்ரொவிஷன் மட்டும் கொடுத்து வச்சிருக்கோம். பட் ஆனா அட் அ டைம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போதே 2 பங்கர் போடணும்னா இட் பி வெரி காஸ்ட்லி. அந்த அளவுக்கு நமக்கு அந்த ரிட்டர்ன் ஆஃப் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்காது இல்லையா? அதனால நோ ப்ரொமோட்டர் வில் ட்ரை டு புட் 2 bunkers இனிஷியலி. லேட்டர் ஆன் நீட் பேஸ்டா செகண்ட் பங்கர் போயிடுவாங்க. ஆனா இத்தனை பங்கர் இருந்தா தான் ஒரு கேன்சர் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் அப்படின்னு எதுவும் கைட்லைன்லாம் கிடையாது. ஒரு கேன்சர் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் பங்கர் இல்லாம கூட இருக்கலாம், ரேடியேஷனே இல்லாம கூட ஒன்லி சர்ஜரியும் கீமோதெரப்பி மட்டும் கொடுத்துட்டு ரேடியேஷனுக்கு வேற எங்கன்னா அவங்க டைப் வச்சுட்டு கூட பண்ணலாம். ஸ்டில் they call themselves a cancer hospital like what we were doing before starting this hospital. அப்பயே கேன்சர் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் தான் எங்களோடது. ஆனா ரேடியேஷனுக்கு மட்டும் we had a tie up with another center. இப்போ அந்த மாதிரியும் பண்ணலாம்.
சார் அப்புறம் இப்போ நிறைய டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்குது இல்லைங்களா? ஆன்காலஜிலே நிறைய டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஸோ இந்த டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் பக்கத்துல இந்த டயக்னாஸ்டிக் பிளாக் பக்கத்துல இது ப்ராக்சிமிட்டியா இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்கும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க ஏதாவது ஃபீல் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? இது பக்கத்துல இந்த ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ல இருந்தா ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் நல்லா ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆகும் அப்படின்னா நீங்க என்ன சொல்லுவீங்க சார்?
கரெக்ட். இப்போ அவுட் பேஷண்ட் பிளாக்ல தான் மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் தி லேப் டெஸ்ட் நடக்கும். ஸோ ஓபியில வந்து லேப் இருக்கிறது நல்லது. அதே மாதிரி அவுட் பேஷண்ட் இருக்கிற இடத்துல தான் நமக்கு வந்து பில்லிங்கும் இருக்கணும். இன்பேஷன்ஸ்க்கு வந்து ஒரு செப்பரேட் பில்லிங் இருந்தா நல்லது. அதே மாதிரி இன்பேஷன்ஸ்க்கு லேப் ஃபெசிலிட்டி தான் வந்து எல்லா இடத்துலயும் அடிக்கடி தேவைப்படுது. ஸோ அது வந்து 2 லேப் வச்சுக்கலாம் இஃப் தி ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் கேன் அஃபோர்டு. பட் அப்படி இல்லை, அஃபோர்ட் பண்ண முடியாது அப்படின்னா இந்த ஏன்னா இன்பேஷன்ஸ் கிட்ட இருந்தும் லேப் ஃபெசிலிட்டி வரணும், ஓபில இருந்தும் வரணும். பட் மெஜாரிட்டி த க்ரௌட் வில் பி இன் த ஓபி. ஸோ இந்த லேப் ஷுட் பி situated in such a way that it can cater to the outpatients as well as the inpatients. லேப் வந்து ஒன்று பார்க்குறோம். அப்புறம் இந்த ஸ்கேன் சென்டர் எல்லா இன்வெஸ்டிகேஷன்ஸும் வந்து ஒரே இடத்துல இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்கும். லைக் ஒரு எக்ஸ்ரேக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஃப்ளோர்லயும் சிடி ஸ்கேனுக்கு இன்னொரு ஃப்ளோர்லயும் போகணும்னா இட் வில் பி டிஃபிகல்ட். ஒரு இன்வெஸ்டிகேஷன்ஸ் அப்படின்னு எடுத்துட்டா அது எல்லாத்தையும் ஒரே இடத்துல கண்டென்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டா பேஷண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ஈஸியா இருக்கும். இது பார்க்குறோம்.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார், எந்த क्वेश्चंस இருக்குன்னு டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிக்கறாங்க.
Our group, they posted, no? You can tell the name of the student and then I'll say the question also. First question you need.
சார் இப்போ இன்னொரு கேள்வி சார், தினேஷ்குமார்ன்றவர் கேட்டுக்கிறாரு. என்னன்னா வந்து அவங்க என்ன கேட்குறாங்கன்னா, இப்போ ரெக்கவரி வந்து எந்தெந்த ஃபேக்டர்லாம் ஒரு பேஷண்டோட ரெக்கவரிக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும் ரீஹாபிலிட்டேஷன் இடத்துல, அது எப்படி இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு கேட்குறாங்க.
ஓகே, I'll address Dinesh's question. இப்போ ரெக்கவரி வந்து ஃபார் கேன்சர் பேஷண்ட் அப்பார்ட் ஃப்ரம் தி ட்ரீட்மெண்ட், அஃப்கோர்ஸ் த ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் இஸ் அ மெயின் ஸ்டேக். ஸோ நம்ம என்ன சர்ஜரி கொடுக்குறோமா, ரேடியேஷன் கொடுக்குறோமா, மெடிசன் கொடுக்குறோம். பட் அதர் தென் தட் வாட் ரியலி ஹெல்ப்ஸ் அப்படின்னா தி அட்மாஸ்பியர், தி ஹாஸ்பிட்டலோட அட்மாஸ்பியர் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் கொடுக்கணும். அவங்களுடைய ரிலேட்டிவ்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து போறதுக்கு ஒரு ஃப்ரீ ஃப்ளோ இருக்கணும். அப்புறம் அங்க அந்த அட்மாஸ்பியர்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு டிசிப்ளின், கிளென்லினஸ், இதெல்லாமே ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுது அவங்களுக்கு. சேஃப்டி, as I told you, எனக்கு ஒன் ஆஃப் தி ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ஸ்ல வந்து ஒரு பேஷண்ட் போஸ்ட் ஆபரேட்டிவா கீழே விழுந்து ஃப்ராக்சர் ஆயிடுச்சு. அப்போ அவங்களுக்கு வேற ஒரு ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் எடுக்கிறவங்க இப்போ கீழே வந்து இன்னொரு ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்டும் அங்கேயே எடுக்கிற மாதிரி ஆயிப்போச்சு. ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் திங்ஸ் தட் குட் ஹவ் பீன் அவாய்டட். ஒரு கேர் ஒரு பேஷண்டோடைய ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் அவுட்கம்ல த அட்மாஸ்பியர் ஆல்சோ ஹெல்ப்ஸ்.
ஓகே சார். இப்போ அஸ்வத் என்ற ஸ்டூடெண்ட் என்ன கேட்குறாங்கன்னா, இப்போ பங்கர் இருக்கு, அந்த பங்கரை நீங்க எப்படி கிளீனிங் பண்ணுவீங்க? இப்போ மற்ற ஏரியால இருந்து அந்த பங்கர் எப்படி கிளீன் எப்படி ஆகும் அப்படின்னு கேட்குறாங்க சார்.
ருட்டீன் கிளீனிங் தான். பிகாஸ் இந்த பங்கர்ல ஆல்வேஸ் ரேடியேஷன் இருக்காது. அந்த மெஷின் ஆன்ல இருந்தா மட்டும்தான் ரேடியேஷன். ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டா ரேடியேஷன் வராது. So anybody can go inside. So my sanitary workers will go inside and clean it just like any other room. பட் அங்க ரூப் எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் உயரமா இருக்கிறதுனால we have a separate ladder for that. அதுக்கிட்டே எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவா வச்சிருக்கோம்.
Sir, is there any safety measures that that the individual have to take before entering the room, bunker or something?
Yeah, of course. The radiation workers அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நாங்க வந்து ஒரு பேட்ச் ஒன்று கொடுத்துருக்கோம், டிஎல்டி பேட்ச்னு சொல்லிட்டு. அவங்க அது வந்து என்னன்னா தட் இஸ் ஆஸ் பர் தி கைட்லைன் தே ஹேவ் டு வேர் தட் பேட்ச். ஸோ இந்த பேட்ச் என்ன பண்ணோம்னா த்ரூ அவுட் தி இயர் அவங்களுக்கு வந்து எவ்வளோ ரேடியேஷன் எக்ஸ்போஸ் ஆகுதுங்கிறது அது ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிக்கும். இப்போ ஒன்ஸ் இன் 3 months we'll have to remove that badge and send it to Mumbai for analysis. அவங்க அதை அனலைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு எவ்வளோ ரேடியேஷன் அந்த நபர் மேல போயிருக்கு அப்படின்னு பார்ப்பாங்க. ஸோ இஃப் இட் இஸ் கிராசிங் பியாண்ட் தி allowable limit அப்படின்னா we have to give compulsory leave to that particular staff. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி we have a safety system. பட் இப்போ டயக்னோஸ்டிக்ல போகும்போது இப்போ எக்ஸ்ரே எடுக்கும்போது சிடி ஸ்கேன் எடுக்கும்போது அப்பன்னா வந்து மெஷின் ஆன்ல இருக்கும் போதே நம்ம கூட நிக்கணும். அப்போ வந்து நமக்கு லெட் ஸ்கிரீன் இருக்கும், லெட் ஏப்ரன் இருக்கும், அதை வேர் பண்ணிக்கணும். பட் ரேடியேஷன் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் கொடுக்கும்போது பேஷண்ட் மட்டும்தான் இருப்பாங்க, நம்ம யாரும் டெக்னீஷியன் அங்கே நிக்க தேவையில்லை. மெஷினை ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு தான் இவங்க உள்ள போவாங்க. திருப்பி பேஷண்ட் இருக்கும்போது ஆன் ஆயிடும், ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு திருப்பி போய் பேஷண்ட் கூப்பிட்டு வருவாங்க. ஸோ டியூரிங் த ரேடியேஷன் தேல் நாட் ஹவ் எக்ஸ்போஷர். லைக் சிடி ஸ்கேன் எக்ஸ்ரேனா டியூரிங் த எக்ஸ்போஷர் இட்ஸ் தேல் பி தேர். அப்போ லெட் ஸ்கிரீன் தேவைப்படும், லெட் ஏப்ரன். ஆனா இவங்களுக்கு வந்து என்ன ஆகுனா ஈவன் தோ they are not going inside during the radiation, but still அந்த அட்மாஸ்பியர்ல வேலை செய்யறதுனால we take a double precaution. அவங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு அப்சார்ப் ஆகுது, we have something called அலாரா பிரின்சிபிள். அதாவது as low as reasonably acceptable அலாரா. இதுதான் the AERB follows. ஸோ அப்போ அவங்களுக்குன்னு ஒரு கைட்லைன் இருக்கும். த்ரூ அவுட் த இயர் இத்தனை MEV அளவுக்கு அவங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த சீவர்ட்ஸ் மில்லி சீவர்ட்ஸ் அளவுக்கு ரேடியேஷன் அப்சார்ப் ஆயிருக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு அதை வந்து அந்த பேட்ச் சொல்லிடும்.
அப்புறம் ஜெனரேஷன்றவங்க என்ன கொஸ்டின் கேட்குறாங்கன்னா, இப்போ ஒரு பிரெக்னன்ட் விமன் இருக்கிறாங்க, ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு நீங்க ரேடியேஷன் தெரப்பிலாம் எப்படி கொடுப்பீங்க, அந்த குழந்தை பாதிக்கப்படாமல் எப்படி இருக்கும், ஒருவேளை அங்கேயே நீங்க பிரெக்னன்சி அங்கே செய்வாங்களா, ஸோ அது என்ன அப்படின்னு கேட்குறாங்க.
குட் கொஸ்டின். பிரெக்னன்சி இஸ் an absolute contraindication for radiation. ஸோ யாருக்கெல்லாம் பிரெக்னன்சி இருக்கோ அவங்களுக்கு நாங்கள் ரேடியேஷன் கொடுக்க மாட்டோம். அப்போ அந்த மாதிரி டைம். பட் பிரெக்னன்சி டைம்ல கேன்சர் வராதான்னா வரும். பிரெஸ்ட் கேன்சர் அண்ட் ஆல் வெரி காமன். ஸோ எனக்கு இப்போ லாஸ்ட் 6 months பேக் ஐ ஹேட் அ பேஷண்ட், பிரெக்னன்ட் பேஷண்ட் வித் பிரெஸ்ட் கேன்சர். நான் அவங்களுக்கு என்ன பண்ணோம்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அந்த சர்ஜிக்கல் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் கீமோதெரப்பி அதெல்லாம் முடிச்சுட்டு டெலிவரி அப்போ பிரெஸ்ட் கேன்சரையும் சர்ஜரி பண்ணிட்டோம், குழந்தையும் ஆப்ரேஷன் பண்ணி எடுத்துட்டோம். பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் ரேடியேஷன் கொடுத்தோம். ஸோ பிரெக்னன்சி இஸ் an absolute contraindication for radiotherapy.
Sir, will it affect the infant also? And the baby will affect?
Definitely. If a pregnant woman is irradiated by accident, then the baby will be born with defects.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Or sometimes it will kill the fetus.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, move fast. Alex, next question.
சார், இப்போ தீபக்ன்றவங்க என்ன கேட்குறாங்கன்னா, இப்போ ஆப்ரேஷன் முடிஞ்ச பிறகு அவங்களுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க, போஸ்ட் ஆப்ரேட்டிவ் கேர் என்ன கொடுப்பீங்க, ஸோ எங்கே வச்சிருப்பீங்க, அப்புறம் எப்போ நார்மல் வார்டுக்கு ஷிஃப்ட் பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்குறேன்.
ஓகே, இமீடியட்லி ஆஃப்டர் சர்ஜரி we have something called a recovery room. அது வந்து அனஸ்தீசியால இருந்து ரெக்கவர் பண்றதுக்காக ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்ட் அங்கே தான் வரும். that will be an intensive care unit setup இருக்கும். அங்க வந்து all emergencies இருப்பாங்க. That is the recovery room. Once away from the recovery room, they will come to the post-op ICU. That's a surgical ICU. அது முடிச்ச பிறகு they will be moved out to their respective wards.
Okay, thank you. சார், புவனேஷ்ன்றவங்க என்ன கேட்குறாங்கன்னா, இப்போ ஐசோலேஷன் ரூம்லாம் நீங்கள் தனியாக கொடுத்துருந்தீங்கன்னா அது எப்படி அது பேஷண்ட் எப்படி அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணுது? அங்கே சிவியர் பேஷண்ட் வச்சிருப்பீங்கன்னா அங்கேருந்து பேஷண்ட் எப்படி ரெக்கவர் ஆகுறாங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்குறாங்க.
ஓகே, ஐசோலேஷன் வார்ட்ஸுங்கிறது செப்பரேட்டாக இருக்கும். அது என்ன மாதிரி பேஷண்ட்ஸ் வைப்போம்னா, ஆஸ் ஐ டோல்ட் யூ, ரொம்ப இன்ஃபெக்டிவ் பேஷண்ட்ஸ் இருந்தாலும் அல்லது கம்யூனிகபிள் டிசீஸ்னால அஃபெக்ட் ஆகிற பேஷண்ட்ஸ் இருந்தால் ஐசோலேஷனில் வச்சிருவோம். அண்ட் எங்களை கேன்சரை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் நம்ம ரொம்ப டெர்மினலி இல் பேஷண்ட்ஸ், தேர் கோயிங் டு டை எனிவே, அந்த எண்ட் ஆஃப் தி லைஃப் சப்போர்ட்னு இருக்கு, சம்திங் கால்ட் எண்ட் ஆஃப் லைஃப் சப்போர்ட், அந்த மாதிரி கொடுக்குற மாதிரி இருந்தால் கூட ஐசோலேஷனில் வச்சிருக்கோம். பட் ஐசோலேஷன் தான் அதுக்குன்னு செப்பரேட் ஸ்டாஃப் இருப்பாங்க. தே வில் டேக் தி அந்த இதெல்லாம் பர்சனல் பிபிஇ கிட் எல்லாம் போட்டுட்டு, if it is a communicable disease, they will be specially trained to handle the communicable diseases. அவங்க போய் அட்ரஸ் பண்ணிட்டு வருவாங்க. ஒன்லி திங் இஸ் ரெகுலர் க்ரௌடுக்கும் அவங்களுக்கும் நடுவில் நம்ம வில் see to that there is a barrier. அண்ட் அதே மாதிரி பேஷண்ட் டிஸ்சார்ஜ் ஆன உடனே அதுக்கு டிஸ்இன்ஃபெக்டன்ட் ப்ரோட்டோகாலே செப்பரேட்டாக இருக்கும். அன்லைக் எனி அதர் ரூம், வீல் ஹாவ் அ செப்பரேட் டிஸ்இன்ஃபெக்டட் ப்ரோட்டோகால். அது முடிச்சுட்டு ஒன் டே ஃபுல்லாக அது வந்து ஃபார்மலின் வச்சு, அந்த ஃபார்மலின் ஃபியூம்ஸ் வச்சு க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி வச்சிருவோம். தென் ஒன்லி இட் வில் பி ஓப்பன் ஃபார் தி நெக்ஸ்ட் பேஷண்ட்.
சார் இப்போ என்னன்னா சார் அடுத்த கேள்வி, இப்போ ஓடி ஆப்ரேஷன் தியேட்டர்ல நீங்க போறீங்க, ஒரு டாக்டரா போறீங்க. இப்போ ஒருவேளை உங்களுக்கு நடுவில் ஒரு பிரேக் வேணும், ஸோ நீங்க எந்த ரெஸ்ட் ரூம்ஸை ஆக்சஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? ஏன்னா ஸ்டெரைல் காரிடர், டர்ட்டி காரிடர் இருக்கு. இப்போ நீங்க ஒருவேளை ரெஸ்ட் ரூம்ஸ்லாம் போனீங்கன்னா திரும்ப எப்படி யூனி டைரக்ஷன்ல தான் இருக்கும் டைரக்ஷன், ஸோ அது எப்படி பண்ணுவீங்கன்னு சொல்றீங்களா?
கரெக்ட். இதுக்கு என்ன பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா, we have to wash out, completely scrub out, நார்மல் ட்ரெஸ் வேர் பண்ணிட்டு வெளியில ரெஸ்ட் ரூம் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு திருப்பி we have to go take all that precaution again and then only enter the theater.
Okay sir. சார் இப்போ திரேன் என்ன கேக்குறாங்கன்னா, இப்போ ஏஹெச் யூனிட்ஸ் டக்டிங் பத்தி நீங்க சொன்னீங்க. ஸ்டெரைல் யூனிட்ஸ்க்கு அங்க தனி ஏஹெச் இருக்கணுமா, அப்புறம் அந்த மாதிரி கொடுக்கணுமா, தனித்தனியா ஏஹெச் கொடுக்கணுமா? இப்போ ஓடிக்கு தனி ஏஹெச் அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கணுமான்னு கேக்குறாங்க.
கரெக்ட். இப்பெல்லாம் வந்து லேமினார் ஃப்ளோ சிஸ்டம்னு செப்பரேட்டாவே ஆப்ரேஷன் தியேட்டருக்கு we have செப்பரேட் ஏஹெச். அதனுடைய யூனிட்டே செப்பரேட்டா இருக்கு. And wherever infection control is needed, we separate that duct system. Right now, all the operation theaters have their separate laminar flow system.
Okay. This is Vishal. Psychological condition is the answer. Psychological condition of the patient. Alex. Vishal.
Okay. Can I take this as the last question?
So the last question is important.
Yeah, because my OP is waiting.
Okay, sir.
Maybe madam, if you have any questions and clarification, maybe another session also we can have. Suppose your students are very much interested in asking interaction, we can have another session exclusively for interaction. I'll take one more question and close the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. We are planning for a next visit for a case study in Chennai and MGM Cancer Care Hospitals.
Okay.
Thing is like, what are the other hospitals we can have a look at it in, for the study? Because getting permission is very, very difficult for us to get into the hospitals.
Yeah. That's I know, ma'am. That I don't know about the other hospitals who permit. Maybe I'll verify and tell you in Chennai. But what I can tell you is, I can give you an open invitation for visiting our hospital, because we are getting people from Chennai and Pondicherry also. From Chennai, there was one called Mada Medical College students. They came to us. And from Pondicherry, we get Manakula Vinayagar Medical College students. They visit our site. So we are getting students from other side also. So you can plan. And I am always open to the students for disclosing whatever we have, plus or minus. I never worry about it, because that is the scope for research and development in medical field.
Thank you so much, sir. Alex, thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. To everybody present here, everybody thank you for this wonderful time which you have spared with us. நிறைய patient பார்க்க வேண்டிய டைம் இருந்திருக்கும். You and your spouse are being a pioneer in treating cancer oncology patients. ஒரு நல்ல குட் எக்ஸாம்பிளரியாகவும் இருக்கிறீங்க, சோஷியல்லையும் சரி டாக்டராகவும் சரி. ஸோ நிறைய எங்களுக்கு ஆர்கிடெக்சர் இது ஹெல்ப் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க, நிறைய விஷயம் நாங்கள் யோசிக்காத சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க, அதுக்கு ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ். நாங்கள் எதிர்பார்க்கல ஒரு சாதாரண ஒரு அதாவது ஆர்கிடெக்சர் ரிலேட்டட் அந்த டீமில் இல்லாமல் ஒரு ஆங்காலஜிஸ்ட் டாக்டர் சர்ஜரி அந்த டாக்டராலையும் இவ்வளோ சொல்ல முடியும் அப்படின்னு வி நெவர் எக்ஸ்பெக்டட். நீங்கள் தனியாக ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் பில்ட் பண்ணி எங்களுக்காக சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க. இது உண்மையிலே எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்திருக்கு. வி ஹோப் தட் வி குட் ஹேவ் ஃபர்தர் கான்டாக்ட் வித் யூ அண்ட் தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஃபார் த டைம்.
Just one small gratitude. We'll have a standing ovation and give a clap.
Thank you. It is actually my pleasure, ma'am, my pleasure. And thanks for interacting with you. And I'm hoping to see you all as a site visit. Please come to our hospital.
Definitely, sir. We will come to your site.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks to Dr. Sashikala ma'am also. Please convey my message.
Sure. Thank you. Bye, everyone.